So, my name is Mark Cochran. I am a junior here at Arkansas State University. I'm studying creative media production, and this is my presentation for my term paper. So, for my paper, the topic that I chose was how modern media has changed the college experience. And this topic kind of interested me because you always hear your parents talking about what it was like when they went to school, how it was for them, and the different things that they didn't have that we have now. And so it kind of just got me thinking about how media has really changed the college experience. And so to start out, I kind of just gave a little brief history of the early colleges in America. It was, colleges first came to America, to where America is now, back after the first European settlers came over. The first one they actually founded was Harvard back in the 1600s. It was Harvard College at the time, later Harvard University. And then after that along came other colleges like Yale and Princeton and Dartmouth. And all these colleges originally were there for people who wanted to go into ministry because the main focus for them, because the main focus was for ministry because they were all founded for religious reasons. And this one was founded because they thought the other college was too far away from their theological beliefs. And so they founded theirs. And so they were all kind of founded for religious beliefs. And it wasn't until later on that they kind of branched off from that, and they kind of said, hey, we're going to talk about other things like engineering and agriculture. And so they started doing that, and soon the government started giving out land to different colleges and different universities around the country, so that every state would have land for a college and university. And so they just kept growing there. Public systems, statewide systems like Arkansas State came into being, things like that. And then from there, I just kind of transitioned into talking about what the difference is between our college experience and people before us, specifically people like right before us. And so it made me think of just little things like the fact that we can bring TVs with us to college, and my parents couldn't because all they had were big box TVs that could not be they couldn't be transported like ours. We have the convenience of when we need to find something, we can look it up on the internet, and we can find up any resource from media professors that post PowerPoints online, whereas my parents and people from the last generations, when they needed to find information, they had to go to the library and they had to manually search through things. And then just kind of from there, I just want to talk about some specific things that have changed in our college experience. One of the things that media has brought with it is the idea of an online program. And so before the invention of the internet and stuff, if you want to go to college, you had to go to college. You had to physically get up and move. And because of that, there were certain restrictions on it. If you had a physical ailment and you couldn't go, then you couldn't go. If you were older in life and you missed the opportunity before you got married or had kids, it was harder for you to go because you had other responsibilities. And so with online colleges, people have the ability and the advantage of going to school whenever they want, wherever they want, and for cheaper because they don't have to pay for room and board and transportation to and from campus. In addition to that, because of the internet and online courses, we as students, as I mentioned earlier, are able to access things faster, and we can access more than we ever could before. And so if we have a question, we can just Google it. Our professors, they put study guides and PowerPoints online that we can find and we can watch. And also, another thing that online college has given us is the ability to learn constantly, not just to go at one point and stop, but to continue to grow and learn. Since people sometimes they want to switch professions, but other professions require a different degree, different certifications. And so with online school, you can actually go and you can learn as you go, and you can change professions whenever you want. In addition to this, the technology that's around colleges allows for better integration into the workforce. A lot of companies now with telecommuting, there's a lot of paperless. Everything's going paperless, and just everything around that. Whenever colleges teach us how to use our computers and our smartphones and just all this different technology, so that we can do online classes and everything, that it helps us to move easier into the workforce where things like that are required. And I forgot to mention this, but including talking about online college, that just gives people a choice to do what they want and how they want, because even people who have you go to traditional college like me, we'll still take online classes like this class right here. It gives us the freedom and choice that we can do what we need to do. We can go to school and still work and not have a completely crazy schedule. And then, in my paper, I also kind of at the end talked about there's some negative side effects to media and how it's negatively affecting college students. And kind of what I talked about was there's this idea of Facebook depression, and it's the whole idea that a lot of college students will live out their social lives online, and there's this fake feeling of intimacy with other people, and because that we feel like we know them but we don't, or we feel isolated because that's how we get our socialization, that can lead to kind of depression. And the problem with that is depression, it's something that affects your mood and your ability to get things done, and in college you have to be able to get things done. And so this kind of thing can affect your grades, it can affect your scholarships, and it can affect your whole college career. And in addition to this, anxiety is another thing that comes with social media because of the whole idea of having to present a perfect life to other people. Even if you don't have it, you want them to think that. And the fact that you don't actually really know anybody because they can be out there putting on a fake persona for themselves. And so that's really what I talk about in my paper, that media has given us the choice for how we go to college, whether online or in class or both. It's helped us move into the workforce easier. We can access more information than ever, and our classes can be easier than ever, or harder because of that. And it's also not helped, but caused other different kinds of anxiety and depression to come along. And so it's all just things to consider and to look at. And yeah, that's my presentation.